going to split 2-7 up a little bit. But so 2-7a is solving proportions. And what we've done so far is we've talked about a lot of ratios, right? And how I take this ratio and convert it to something that's equal to it, but using different units. That's what we were just doing. Now we're going to be talking about proportions. And the first thing I want to show you is just kind of how ratios can be set equal, because that's what a proportion is. It's just taking this ratio and setting them equal to each other, okay? So if you were to make a necklace, and we're going to make this necklace out of beads, okay? If I were, you don't have to draw this. You can just watch this part of it. That's fine. If I were to put 2 red beads on my necklace, and then I put 3 blue beads on my necklace, what's the ratio of red to blue beads? 2 to 3, right? That's a 2 to 3 ratio, okay? Let's say I did another round of that. 2 more red beads, 3 more blue beads. How many red beads do I have right now? 4. How many blue beads do I have right now? 6, okay? So that's a 4 to 6 ratio. Well, what is a 4 to 6 ratio? 2 to 3, right? It's the same thing. So if you reduced that, it would be equal to 2 to 3. So I could say 2 to 3 equals 4 to 6, and that's a true statement, right? Because 2/3, if we reduce 4/6, it becomes 2/3. Those are the same thing, okay? So this technically is a proportion. You're setting a ratio equal to another ratio, okay? Jada, do you have a question? Oh, I thought, was that just a stretch? You're just stretching. So basically, a proportion is this. If I have A over B, and I set it equal to C over D, not knowing what A, B, C, and D are, that would make a proportion, okay? We usually say A is to B as C is to D. So it's comparing these two ratios that we have. What you're going to do with them is you're going to solve for some missing variable when it's set up as a proportion. So I'm going to give you an example here. So this is example 1. Let's say I tell you that 7 to 8 is equal to M to 12. Okay? But we don't know what M represents. But M is a number, right? It's a variable. It's just a placeholder for whatever number should go there. So there's 2 ways you could solve this. I'm gonna tell you both right now, but I feel like 99% of students do the one. So even though I show you both, you may choose to use one or the other. I am always going to do it in class the cross multiply way. So your options are this. You can do what's called cross multiplying, okay? And cross multiplying means we take the 7 and the 12 and we multiply them together, okay? And then we plop our equal sign in and we cross it the other way and do 8 times M. So 7 times 12 equals 8 times M. Anyone know what 7 times 12 is off the top of your head?
Yeah. 77. Oh, no, that's 11.
84.
No, 84. 7 times 12 is 84. Okay, so 84 equals 8M, and then we're going to divide by 8. Now it's just a one-step problem, right? Divide by 8 on both sides, so this 8 cancels, and that means M is 84 divided by 8, which is 10.5. Okay, so that's one way you can do it, is cross multiplying. The other way you can do it, and this is the way that I'm really not going to do for you very often, but if you see this better, you may do it this way every time. The other way is this. If I know 7 over 8 equals M over 12, if I want to isolate M, what do I have to do with the 12? You need to multiply, right? Because right now we're dividing, so if I multiply by 12 here, then I need to multiply by 12 over here. So this is the same as this, well, as this. So you would just do 12 times 7 over 8. If you want to see it like this, oops, not equals, as 12 over 1, if that helps you, you may write it as 12 over 1. And then if we simplify this, you can either cross cancel right now, or you can just multiply across. I feel like you guys usually choose to multiply across, right? So it would be 84 divided by 8, which if you look, that's exactly what we did over here, right? Which is 10.5. So it's totally up to you if you want to do it, which way you want to do it. When your variable's in the denominator, it's just not as easy to do this way. So I highly recommend you cross multiply. But if you like that way better, you can do it that way. Okay? Let me give you another one. What if our problem is 4 over 3 equals 8 over x? Okay, if we cross multiply, what are we multiplying 4 by?
The x.
By the x. So it's going to be 4 times x, and then we do our equal sign, and then what else are we multiplying?
8 times 3.
3 times 8, or 8 times 3. You may write that in either order, right? Because the commutative property says it doesn't matter if you multiply this way or that way. So you get 4x equals 24, and then what do we do?
You divide by 4.
Divide by 4 on both sides, so x is 6. Okay, and you can always plug it back in and check it. If we plug that 6 in right here, it's saying that 4 over 3 equals 8 over 6. Well, if we reduce 8 over 6, we get 4 over 3. So then we know that it checks out. Okay? Questions on that? Okay, one more. Let's say we have y over 3 equals 3 over 5. Cross multiply that for me. What would your new equation say? 5 times y equals 3 times 3, right? So 5 times y and 3 times 3. Now what if I said 3 times 3 equals y times 5? Is that different?
No.
Same thing, okay? So it doesn't matter which diagonal you multiply first, but we would do 5y equals 9. And now here's where it might look like this doesn't make sense because you get this weird fraction, but that's okay. We like weird fractions. So y equals, you could leave it as 9 over 5. You could turn it into a mixed number. Can anyone turn 9 over 5 into a mixed number for me? 1 and 4 fifths. Okay, so either one of those would be fine, or I don't even care if you make it a decimal. Anyone know what 1 and 4 fifths is as a decimal? 1 and 4 fifths is the same as 8 tenths, right? So it would be 1.8. Okay, so any of those three I will take. Just a matter of if you would prefer to leave it as a fraction, make it a mixed number, or turn it into a decimal. Okay, any questions on that? That's all you're doing is cross multiplying. So take a proportion, cross multiply it. So you're just doing 27a for tonight. And then we'll do 27b tomorrow, which is just one little detail changed, really, but with a couple problems. And then you guys have your quiz this week on Wednesday on the block, okay? So that quiz is 2-6 and 2-7.
I'm gonna have a little setting thing.
If you come at like 8, we can do that.
What is my bus driver gonna drive that? I usually.
It's not she doesn't know how to drive fast. It's that it's busy out there. Are we still recording?